You're watching BionicDance. Don't run on automatic, instead, please think.
Ladies and gentlemen, do atheists merely lack a belief in God? I hear that a lot from atheists. For a number of reasons, no.
Trying to tell atheists what we believe? That's a paddlin'. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. Today we're looking once again at Frank Turek, a theist who is trying to define atheism into a box, presumably because he wants something easier to argue against. Well, I'm here today to set that particular straw man on fire, in the hope that maybe, after it's burned to a cinder, he'll have to look at what atheism really is.
Number one, if the word atheism merely means a lack of belief in God, then that really just says something about the atheist state of mind. It's not saying anything about the real world out there. It's not saying, well, the real world doesn't need a God. It's just saying, I psychologically don't have a belief in God.
That's all it's supposed to mean. Theism doesn't say anything else either, except that you believe in God. Neither atheism nor theism actually come with dogma or doctrine in and of themselves. After all, does theism say you believe God sent his nephew to create 9 universes and then to create a Spider-Woman to act as intermediary between that God and humanity? Or does theism say that 2 gods tried and failed to create mankind out of mud, and then wood, then successfully create humans out of corn? Or was the universe and the gods created out of chaos? These are all creation myths from around the world, and saying someone is religious doesn't tell you squat about which that person believes. All it tells you is that they have theistic belief of some kind. Similarly, all you learn from someone being called an atheist is that they don't have any of these beliefs. And that's all either term is supposed to tell you. If you want to know more, you're going to have to get more than just the Cliff's Notes version. Life isn't that simple.
Secondly, if atheists merely lack a belief in God, then this monitor is an atheist because it lacks a belief in God. This chair is an atheist. It lacks a belief in God. Outhouses lack a belief in God. Everything, even dogs and cats and roaches all lack a belief in God. You can see that word doesn't do us much, or doesn't do much for us if it merely means a lack of belief in God. It's not saying anything.
And it's not supposed to. You're expecting the word to do too much heavy lifting. Here's the thing. The syllable A at the front of the word means not. The difference between theists and atheists is that theists are the group that believe in God, and atheists are absolutely everything else that doesn't. I think the problem is that theism comes with a shit ton of baggage, all that dogma and ritual, so theists are expecting atheism to do the same. I could be wrong, but they certainly seem to expect atheism to come with its own doctrine, its own worldview. This, I think, is why you're so often hearing theists say that atheists believe in evolution, because they think that evolution is part of atheist ideology. And it's not. You might have to dig a bit, but you'll find atheists out there with some pretty wacky beliefs about the origin and formation of life and the universe. Those beliefs just won't include any deities. But the fact is that atheist just means not theist. An atheist is just someone who's not a believer in gods. Again, if you want more than that, you're going to need more than just one word to describe it. After all, do you want, say, Scientologists lumped in with Christians just because you're both theists? Think about it.
But thirdly, and maybe most importantly, atheism is not merely a lack of belief in God, because the atheists I know about, the atheists that I deal with in the book, Stealing from God, Why Atheists Need God to Make Their Case, are saying they have positive reasons to be atheists.
Well, that's just a no true Scotsman fallacy, coupled with, it appears, confirmation bias. The atheists you've dealt with think this, that, or the other thing, and so the atheist saying something else, well, they can't really be atheists now, can they? Newsflash, Chester, it doesn't work that way.
In other words, they're saying that materialism is true, that everything is made of molecules and there is no immaterial realm, there is no supernatural realm. And they try and explain these things by evolution and multiple universes and quantum vacuums and these kind of things. Well, those aren't just negative beliefs. They don't just lack a belief in evolution, multiple universes, or quantum vacuums. Those are positive beliefs that those things are adequate enough to explain reality as we know it.
Those things are not inherent to atheism, however. They may be consequences of not having any belief in God, but they are not automatically part of atheism. An atheist could believe in magical musical notes that sang the universe into existence all by themselves with nobody to play them, and they'd still be atheists. Mind you, that's awfully close to pantheism, but the point is that materialism is not inherently part of atheism.
And by the way, what word would you use if you don't use atheism for someone who says, I believe there is no God, or there is no God? What word would you use?
Well, I wouldn't. I'd use two words, at the very least. What Frank here just described is a Gnostic atheist, or strong atheist, depending on who you talk to. Wonder of wonders, there's more than one kind of atheist, and some of them would like to be as distinct from each other as I'm sure a Jew would like to be distinct from a Mormon. And vice versa. Frankie wants it to be simple, but I don't think it's the concept that's simple here.
I mean, somebody who just lacks a belief could be considered an agnostic. So an atheist really is somebody who says there is no God.
I wish we didn't have to keep going through this for people, but the root of agnostic, gnosis, means knowledge, not belief. An agnostic is someone who lacks knowledge the same way an atheist lacks religious belief. And, as you can see on the chart, agnostic is used more as adjective than noun. It describes the type of atheism or theism, rather than being a position unto itself.
If you want more on this, much more on this, get the new book.
Hey. If anybody's gonna whore themselves out on my channel, it's gonna be me. Get thee gone, foul greed spawn! And until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think. You've got two choices. You can rate this video and share it everywhere across social media, or I can send my minions after you. Choose wisely.